Hi, everyone, and welcome to this month's Tuesday with Monday. I'm Haley Wilson, marketing lead here at Purple Plum Consulting, and I'm joined by Christian Lee, our solution architect at Purple Plum. Today's topic is one we're really excited about, mobile-first workflows for real estate teams using Monday.com. If you're a real estate professional, an agent, project manager, investor, property coordinator, you know how important it is to work efficiently on the go. So today, this is what we'll cover in the next 30 minutes. We'll start with a few common use cases that real estate teams face every day and how Monday Mobile can help solve those issues. Then we'll move into a live demo where we'll show Monday Mobile in action. And finally, we'll wrap up with a Q&A. And with that, I'd love to introduce today's speaker, Christian Lee, our solution architect here at Purple Plum Consulting. Christian specializes in helping real estate teams create flexible, modern workflows, and he's put together some great demos to show us how mobile can transform your day-to-day operations. So, Christian, I'd love you to take it away. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Haley. Yeah, so the Monday mobile app is something that I've seen a lot of people kind of overlook when they're implementing their Monday setups. It's really easy to kind of forget about the mobile. A lot of work is done on computers and everybody's sitting at a desk a lot of times. But in real estate in particular, you're out in the field a lot of times, right? Looking at showings, inspecting properties that you're managing if you're a property manager, right? If you're an agent doing a listing, right? You got to do your listing walkthrough, taking photos of anything that you notice that might be needing to be called out in the listing, et cetera, right? So when you're out in the field, that field data capture, it's one of the biggest pain points for real estate teams that we see. And the gap between what happens in the field and when your office knows about it, right? That's kind of the big gap that usually gets created whenever you're not recording things on the go. So the Monday.com mobile app is really, really great for this type of stuff. And so it's important to think about these things when you're building your Monday boards. That, oh, somebody might be on their phone. Let's make sure that we're considering those use cases, right? So some of the common things that we see work really, really well on the Monday mobile app for this type of field data capture is, when you're capturing property conditions during showings with photos and notes kind of in real time as you're walking around the house. In the Monday mobile app, you can snap a photo right inside the app. Like it's got a little photo feature as you're uploading files. You can leave comments and notes and update your boards in real time as you're doing these types of showings. So it's really, really powerful tool to just, as you're going through, pull up your mobile app on your board that you're using for this and just update the data in real time. You can even tag people and communicate in real time where they're getting notifications, right? And shoot things off in real time to your team. So, things like logging maintenance issues, discovering during walkthroughs, right? And then immediately sending it out to the office, right? Recording client feedback and showing notes immediately after your appointments, right? So situation would be, you're walking through with one of your clients and they point out a couple of things, they have some notes, you're jotting down the notes as they're speaking or maybe shortly after when you get in the car, right? And things are updated much quicker than having to, maybe write it down on pen and paper or snap a photo and then you get back to the office and you've lost your pen and paper or maybe it was raining and it got wet, right? There's all these different things that can come up. So using the mobile app on the go is really, really powerful for these types of things because you just know it's captured, right whenever you're doing it. So really, really cool. So um, yeah, next for like listing updates on the go is a really good use case that we see as well. So updating property status in real time, right? Immediately after meetings. If you've got something that, let's say you're out with another client and you have a notification that you're under contract with something else, the documents finally got signed and you get a ping on your phone. Well, you can immediately jump into your Monday mobile app and update your listing on your listings board in real time, right? There's no need to wait around. Let's say you're at closing and everything goes through, you're shaking hands with the owners. In the old workflow, you might have to text your broker and, say, hey, this property closed, right? And then things get updated in the back end, maybe an Excel spreadsheet or something. Well, now you can just hop on your mobile app and mark it as closed, write an update to someone if you need to, tag them, they get a notification on their phone, right? All these types of things without having to text, and all the system is updated. What you use day in and day out on your computer, it's updated in real time as you're on the go, right? Updating price changes and listing notes, log showing appointments and book calendars in real time, right? All that kind of stuff is really, really nice to use inside of the Monday mobile app. And so our next use case is renovation tracking with the Monday mobile app. So let's say you're a property manager and you're renovating a property, right? So as you're again walking through in real time, you can take photos and upload them directly into your Monday mobile app onto your board where the team at the office can see in real time. You can update statuses. You can itemize things as you're walking through if you need to. Say, "Oh, I noticed this. Let me make a note about that particular improvement or an update on let's say the kitchen's being remodeled and you have a risk that comes up that you need to flag. You can log that in a risks board on the fly with the form, or you're tracking budgets and the contractor on site saying, oh no, it's going to take an extra $10,000 for this particular part of the renovation. You can log that in real time. So that way people can start working on the back end and making sure there's approvals and things in place, as you're going along without having to pick up the phone and call anybody, right? These things can just happen in the workflow. People get notified in the office and you get what you need in real time. And so, the real power is this kind of real-time coordination and always knowing the current status. We say a lot of times, when we're building Monday boards, we like to use Monday and things as like the one single source of truth. And, really that's what we like to have. And we like to have it as real time as possible. And so using the mobile app to do that is really, really powerful for teams. Now, I guess we can jump into some real use cases. We've got some screen recordings of the mobile app and what that looks like. All right, and let's jump into the mobile app. So the mobile app is going to look a lot different than your Monday.com on your browser. And so it's important to kind of familiarize yourself and kind of compare the two so you understand how to navigate. So on the mobile app, the way you navigate through boards isn't the same as it is in Monday. It's not on the left-hand pane. So what you want to do, if you want to look at boards, I don't recommend that, so we'll get into my recommendations here in a moment, but you can click down here on the Workspaces tab. Right? And on the Workspaces tab, you can see, let's go into one of our workspaces for property management, right? So now I can see all the boards within that workspace in the folders, right? I can see my active properties, I can see my properties master list here as well, and navigate right into the board, okay? One quick tip as well, I always like to recommend on mobile app, if you pinch and pull out, you can zoom out from the boards since mobile apps are small. I always like to zoom out a bit so I can see a little bit more detail. Right? You can scroll sideways and see all your columns, click into items, all like you would expect, see the columns, updates, files, etc. against an item. So what I want to kind of go through now in terms of just general navigation and how to navigate the mobile app, it's really important to add your favorites here. So on the mobile app at the very top of the screen, you can see you've got my favorites. So I've favorited a few of our boards. I got properties, yard sign jobs, listings, property turnovers, right? So just right at a glance, I can jump right into the boards that I navigate the most. So on the listings board, it's really, really quick to get right into it. I can go down here at the bottom, click on Quick Find. So let's try to find an address here. We'll go 409. I know this is one that I want to update here. Right, and I can search right there at the bottom, click into it, make any updates to it. Instead of coming soon, right, maybe I need to update that to under contract. Okay, so really, really easy to navigate. If you have your favorites here at the top, you don't have to navigate like this. You can also click the little arrow there and jump right into your full list of favorites. Okay. Now, moving on down here, you can also see your recently visited. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Don't have to over-explain this one. But all the boards that you've recently visited, you can jump right in. If you know that, oh, I'm jumping into this one all the time, let me go ahead and add it as a favorite. Then now that one's going to show up here at the top, as you can see. All right? You can also search for boards. So Again, if I know exactly the board name, I can jump in and I can search for listings. I can search for contacts, right? And I can jump right into those particular boards and see from there. So another thing navigating inside of Monday, inside the mobile app, it's kind of important to consider is kind of your home screen here as well. You can kind of edit your profile from here. Also, you can see your updates feed. So this is where communication happens. So we'll talk a little bit more detail about communication in another one, but this is a really quick way to jump right into your updates feed here in the more section here at the bottom. So back on the home page, another really popular page and really great one for navigating and just finding what you're assigned to. Anything that you're assigned to is going to show up here in your My Work. You can also create items in boards. So I can create a new contact here. I can create a new listing here. Or I can create a new property right here from My Work. So it's a really good way to kind of navigate and quickly jump around the platform. All right, now let me show you how easy it is to update your listings on the go. So if I go into the listings board here, again, feel free, you can go to recently visited or, click on your favorites, go into the listings board. All right, I've got my active listings here. I know that this listing just went under contract. So I'm going to click on it, right? I've got all the details that I need. I can see who's assigned to it, when was the listing active, how many days has it been on the market, what's the address, the city, state, every detail that you need. It's a condominium listed for $600,000, etc. Right? I can quickly and easily update anything in here. I can communicate with the team. I can go in and mark from active. I can just click on this and jump right into under contract. It's that simple and easy. I can leave an update that says we are now under contract. Right, I can type at, let's say I want to notify Carrie of this and say, hey, we're under contract now. Maybe she is, somebody I need to notify about this. Let's say, hey, can you check on this though? We noticed something while we were there. Let's say you're out in the field, you're at the property, right? You can even grab your camera and let's say, I'm just going to take a picture of my door here, but let's say I want to take a picture. You can click the little camera button, take a picture of a door, or maybe there's some scuffs on it. You hit OK, upload that photo. Okay, maybe I also have a couple of other photos that I want to upload, right? Go right in there, right in the update, on the fly, on the go. I just marked this listing under contract, and now I'm leaving an update for Carrie to kind of check things out. So that's how quick and easy it is to update items on the fly and communicate with your team just on the go. And what that's going to do is that's going to send Carrie a notification on her phone and make it really, really easy. Those types of notifications are then going to come in here. If you go back to your home screen, you can click on notifications there at the bottom. You can see all my notifications that are coming in. I can click on things. I can go right and navigate right to them. So she's getting a notification and checking this update probably as we speak. So that's how you can very, very easily update things on the go on the mobile app with Monday.com, as you're going through things and on the go, right? So just really, really easy to click and go mark listings as active. Let's say you need to communicate with people, upload files, photos, etc. on the fly. All right, now let's talk about Monday.com notifications on the mobile app. So if you navigate to the notifications tab, you can see your notifications. Really, really easy to get there. One thing I want to show, kind of a pro tip, sometimes you want every notification possible, but sometimes you want to select and pick and choose what notifications you do receive on the mobile app. Maybe not every aspect of your job is done on the mobile app. Maybe you only do a couple of things on here and you do everything else on your computer, but you want to be notified of certain things. So if you go into the More section here at the bottom and then navigate down, you can see under settings, there's a notification settings button. If I click that and I click on mobile notifications, you customize your email notifications on the desktop, on your computer, on the Monday website in your profile, similarly to this. And so the way you customize your mobile app notifications is you come here, click on that little settings button, and
you can see I've removed likes my update. I don't like to be notified on my phone every single time someone likes an update that I did, so I toggled that off. If liking my update is a part of your workflow and it's really important, then maybe you want to turn that back on, right? It's really easy to do so. You can say if someone replies to my update, I don't want a notification, et cetera, right? So go in here, read through these, and make sure that you're customizing things according to what you need. So another tip here is under your notifications tab, as you go through, you're going to get lots and lots of notifications, right, over the days and over the years of using Monday mobile app. So it's really important to learn how to filter and find things that you need. So one quick one that's really powerful is just filtering by anything I haven't marked as red. So on a mobile notification, you get it here. You can see I can mark it as red or delete it. And so anytime someone's tagging you in an update or subscribing you to a board, assigning you to an item, you can easily jump into your unreads and see that. You can also filter down a little bit more and say, I was mentioned. So this is someone who mentioned me in an update. They're communicating to me. So it's a way to find actual communications from people. You can also see I've been assigned to things. So if you've been assigned to a task or a new listing or a new lead, right, you can jump right in and see where you've been assigned as a person in a people column inside of Monday. So really, really good navigation tips there. I find a lot of times people don't ever navigate off the All tab, and it can get a little bit cumbersome to navigate if you don't know how to effectively filter, right? And you can also search your notifications. So if you ever remember something and you don't remember how long ago it was, right, you can always search for it. So if I just search thanks, it searches the content of the update in the notification, and it also searches the name of the notification, right? You can also search the name of the person who sent it to you. So if you remember, oh, Amber tagged me in something, I cannot remember what it was, right? Then you can definitely do that. Okay, so a couple of tips to find notifications. As you get a lot of notifications, it can be difficult to sort through and parse through them all. So another really good tip as well, if you know it's an update, one thing that's really powerful in Monday I see overlooked a lot is the update feed. So similar to notifications, it's really important whenever you're tagged in updates against listings or items or properties, it's really important to be able to navigate through those. You can see Mark is asking here on something I'm assigned to. He's asking Lauren for an update. Amber here is asking me for some files. You can reply directly within here, and it takes you right into the item so that you can communicate back. You can like them right here. You can also check them off your list and say, okay, I've actioned that one. Now I don't want it to show up in my update feed, right? So really powerful tools to be able to communicate and navigate within Monday. Another thing that you can do is jump into the filters right there in the top right corner. And you can say, I only want to see items on certain boards. So if I want to click into that, this is on the sub items of that particular board. There's a task that Amber's asking me for updates on. And I can jump right into those boards and filter accordingly. So lots of cool ways to navigate the Monday mobile app to kind of drill down and find the information that you need without getting overwhelmed with all the options.
Oh, thank you, Christian. That was such a great walkthrough. Okay, so we've had a few questions come in that I'd love your help answering.
Sure.
And let's start with this one. So, can I customize dashboards for mobile?
Yeah, one of the great things about the mobile app with Monday, and not everything is supported as you would expect, right? That you could do on your computer, but dashboards is one of those things that's supported. There are a couple of things that don't quite work, but absolutely can be customized for mobile. Dashboards just load like they do on your computer on mobile. They might look a little bit different, right? So you may have to play with the size of your widgets, but the really cool thing about Monday dashboards is they're all building block widgets, right? So you can resize them, move them around, right? So you have your phone pulled up, with the dashboard on and play with it on your computer and kind of resize the widgets accordingly, right? So that way it looks really nice. And you just have to go back and forth. But yeah, everything's totally customizable, resizable, and really nice on mobile.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so does offline mode support data entry as well?
Yeah, this is a really good question. So, not everything is supported with offline, but Monday is always trying to kind of add, features to this offline mode. They're always working on this. This is a big one. It's a really hard technical challenge to overcome as a development team, but they have about 70% of board actions are supported through the offline capabilities. So on both iOS and Android, you can update statuses, column values, people assignments, priorities, and stuff as you're offline. So let's say you're out at a property, and there's not cell signal or not reliable cell signal. You can still pull up the board that you had pulled up and make changes to it. You can write things, and then when you come back online, those things, update accordingly, right? So there are a few things that don't work. So photo and file uploads require connectivity. I've seen this work hit or miss, right? So sometimes your phone will kind of queue the upload, but it's not super reliable. Monday's definitely working on that. They require connectivity, but if you're just updating the board and marking things, totally doable to do, and then have it update whenever you log back in to internet. So it really caches your board, right? So you can still view items as well. So if you've loaded the board before, before you go offline and it's still there, right? It'll cache it and you can still see the items and things that you were working on before. So it works really seamlessly. Don't even really notice that you're offline. The only thing that you would notice is maybe you get a lot of notifications and maybe they're not coming in because you don't have cell signal. But the board functionality works really, really seamlessly when you're offline.
Yay, that's great to know, especially for realtors or
Yeah,
people on new construction sites that might be away from a cell signal. So that's
exactly.
great to know. They can pull it up easily. Okay, and our last question, what's the best way to manage approvals on the go? So maybe like contract approvals, lease agreements, stuff like that.
Yeah, so the best way to manage approvals on the go is to manage them like you would in a Monday board on your computer, right? So you have a board with the approval process, maybe an item gets created. It's really important for this to set up notifications, right? So one of the most powerful things about a mobile app, right, is to have a push notification that gets sent to you on your phone. And so in your approvals board, making sure that you have a notification automation that says, when person is assigned or when status changes to pending approval, notify my boss, my manager, or the individual who needs to approve the item, right? So that the way they get pinged on their mobile app. And then also ensuring, like we showed earlier, when you're customizing your notifications, that individual can receive the notifications, right? So when you're managing approvals on the go, you want to make sure that they have all the information they need to approve, right? So probably uploading a file to a files column, making sure that they have the budget number if there's approval for budget, right? If you're doing a renovation and you have a budget threshold of $5,000 for things need to get approved, right? And setting up automations to curate that. And let's say if it's over $5,000 and it's in this department, I need to notify this individual, right? That person gets a notification on their phone. They can click on it, jump right into the mobile app, into the board where they're working, and they can look at the file, look at the numbers, and then mark it as approval right there in the app. So really, it's very seamless, just as if you were working on your computer. It just is on your phone, and you get a little bit better notifications. So
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of our Tuesdays with Monday episode this month. Thank you so much for joining us today. You can explore more Tuesdays with Monday webinars on our YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/Purple Plum Consulting, or you can also visit our website where we have the recordings on demand. That's purpleplumtech.com/events. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love to see you next month. So if you would like to book a strategy session with our team, this is Mark up on the screen here. He'd love to help you optimize your real estate workflows. Just reach out to Mark on the screen here. And thanks again, and we will see you next month.